So if you're building a single page web application or any sort of application on the web and you want to use Elm, you will come into the problem that sooner or later you will need to interface with legacy code or external APIs that you didn't write. For example, you may wish to connect your Elm code to Google Analytics or to Drip or to the Facebook Pixel or something like that, so that actions taken within your Elm application show up in your analytics, maybe show up in workflows in Drip, maybe show up in things with the Facebook Pixel. You know, people who've done this thing should get this advertisement, that kind of thing. Now, to do that, you need to use Elm's port systems, and that's sometimes a subject of confusion. So I wanted to cover that in this video. So if you're looking at the Google Analytics API, it has a lot of different parts to it, but we're just going to work out a simple subset in the JavaScript API. There's a function here called send. You can see it here. And it has, we'll take an event, a link, and then various other actions. You can look in a lot more detail about how to do this, and that's an exercise beyond the scope of this video. But the basic idea is we want to send an event to Google Analytics. Now to do that, we want to go over to our code. And here we have some code. And on the top half of the screen, you'll see that we have some Elm code. And this is a module called Google Analytics. And you'll notice it says port module. So that means it can create commands that send ports. So here we have a type, Google Analytics message, which is just a record of type with two fields, message and value of string. And then we have a function here, send, which takes two strings and returns a command. Now the send function, we just construct a Google Analytics message, and then we send the data to the port. And this is a port here, and the port takes a Google Analytics message and returns a command message. So that's real simple. And basically when you call this, you just get a command back and you use it like any other command. And when you run this command, what happens is in your JavaScript code, something happens. And if you look at this code down here, we have a function, Google Analytics event, and we get send event, event message, and event value, which are again the message and value fields here. So they're just strings and they map out. You could also use integers or other types, it's fine. And then we want to say here, after we create our Elm application, we just instantiate our Elm, elmapp.ports.googleanalytics.subscribe, and then our function name, Google Analytics. So basically what this does is it just creates a callback here from this code that is this function here, so a simple function. And whenever you invoke this command in Elm, this callback will get called, and you can see it's just a simple function there. So this is a simple case of how you can send data from Elm out to a JavaScript API. Here we've just done one thing. We've created a record that takes two strings, and it sends it out to Google, and then sends it out to JavaScript. And in JavaScript, we send it into the Google Analytics API, which is an external thing, and we can assume it works correctly. I hope this was useful, and I'm going to stay tuned for future videos on how to do more complex things with ports. And if you found this useful, please subscribe. And if you have questions, please leave a comment. They're all below. Thank you very much.